Get money.
We're doing it. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dirty Closet Podcast, where even if your closet is clean, it is dirty today. That's right. I am one of your hosts, Charlie Rocket, and
the rise of Jay Jones, aka J Sauce the Boss, El Presidente, Lord Sensei.
Hey.
And so today, obviously, you see, we're not alone.
Yeah.
We have some amazing guests.
Some familiar faces.
Some familiar. I would say, you know the cast, you know the squad.
Right.
So we got Cosplay over there.
Hey, y'all.
And then we got Miss YG herself, Yungokuu.
Yes. Welcome back, you guys. I'm happy to have you both back.
Oh, for sure.
Thanks for having us.
I mean, look, how could we not? Like, I mean, it was a given.
Right. So what kind of things have you guys been up to recently?
Nothing fun for me. Just work. That's it. Nothing exciting.
I feel like that's everybody right now.
Yeah, no, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. Every once in a while, life turns into a sandwich because no matter how you flip it, the bread comes first.
Yeah. Especially since most cons are over by this time of year. But Yungokuu, are you at AWA right now?
I would say I'm actually at a con right now.
In
at
AWA. In these
I'm recording live.
Hold on.
If y'all ever said y'all ain't never seen her at a con, you didn't go because she's tapped in. She in these streets, man.
Right.
That's wild.
Period.
So yeah, I just got here today to Atlanta. I haven't been here in a while, so it feels like the first time of me being here. It's my first time going to AWA, so I'm really excited. I plan to go on Friday and then go to all the little after parties and like stuff like that.
Hey, I respect it. As a fellow East Sider from Atlanta, please turn up. Do your big one in the city. Might as well.
It's gonna be my city.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you. Look, if you're big enough to take it, it's yours. But good luck.
I know that's right. We should have taken more advantage of when you were in Atlanta, like going to the conventions there because they're so big and because they're so good. We did go to AWA and we went to MomoCon.
Yeah.
To an extent, we went, but were we there long? No, because at the time we were long distance. So every moment counts. We spent all the time in the room.
Yeah,
Full time in the apartment. So I was a whole guest at those events.
Oh my God.
I went for my panels. I took photos.
And she did an amazing job because when we come back as guests still.
I know, we'll do our job. We'll do our job next time. It won't be as dire.
That was like 4 years ago.
It was dire straits. But other than that, what kind of stuff have you been up to today?
What have I been up to?
What have you been watching? What have you been doing?
So watching, oh my goodness, like Record of Ragnarok, fire, finish that, love that. Castlevania. Woo, that my boy, he ain't fucking around, bro. I don't like how he waved that whip though. That whip, the black in me every once in a while, I'll be like, you don't gotta wave that whip like that, bro. But at the same time, he getting to it. I can't be mad at it. I've been playing guitar.
What's the chick's name on Castlevania with the pink hair?
Everybody's cosplaying.
Oh my God.
Yes. No. Let me tell you guys, she has these cosplayers out here working, but how y'all get these costumes together in a day or two, I don't know.
Right?
We've been watching Demon Slayer.
Yeah, that's true. We caught up with Demon Slayer finally.
Yeah.
Finally. It was amazing.
I've been getting back into guitar. I'm gonna somehow work that back into cosplay. So we're gonna
guitar is so cool. I love guitar.
Yes.
Guitar is it's my heart song, so I gotta work on it.
I know. I'm gonna encourage you just because I like to see it. We love to see it.
I'm gonna make it happen. So what have you been up to?
Let me tell you something. I realized in our last episode that I never brought up that I cut my hair. I just like showed up with it short.
Oh shit! We never did.
You did.
Transition. I just flipped the script.
I never brought it up, but I did cut all my hair off. So now it's like growing back already. So it doesn't even matter.
But it still has the same shape. It's
I
cute.
know.
Yeah, it's still cute.
Yeah.
But I might dye it blonde again. Who knows?
Well, I
Might
love
keep it
hey,
dark till
whatever you
winter.
decide to do, I love it. You don't miss. She does not miss. She like Steph Curry
Oh.
in his prime. Just, she don't even watch it though. Don't even
My
need
God.
to.
I also have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
reading a lot of books. I finished that most recent Hunger Games, the Snakes and Songbirds, I believe it is, which is coming out.
Also, they're gonna make a movie about it.
Yes, in
Hey, there we
November.
go.
So I'm hyped for that. The book was very good. Also, a
Mhm.
friend of mine who I used to do panels with, her name is Tracy Dion. She has a book that was a bestseller called Legend Born. And I just finished that as well as the sequel, Blood Marked. I finished them both. They were amazing. And it's my new special interest.
Let me tell you how I didn't know you finished the second one.
Oh,
She put me on to the first one. I was listening to it today. I said, "Oh no, we got one, boys. This a hit. I ain't gonna
I was
lie."
addicted. It's a little spicy too.
Ooh.
But it's got like a Twilight feel kind of in the spicy
Hey,
department.
look, exactly. You thought you was gonna go and get in barbecue. You like, oh, Chipotle ranch.
I know.
Extra.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's a black lead in a fantasy novel, and that's what we love to see. And it
Exactly.
We
takes
do. We love that.
right here in North Carolina.
Hey,
So
I'm rooting for everybody. Like
Yeah.
I
Issa said.
am.
Hey.
Issa said, hey.
everybody. So check that out if you have time. But moving along, before we move on to our theme, I do want to also mention that Beyonce said that it was just released that Beyonce is having a movie of her tour, and I must see it. The Renaissance tour. It comes out in December, and that's when my birthday is. So
Hey.
if anyone want to see the Renaissance tour in theaters with me for my birthday, come on out.
I mean,
When
If you
does
want
it
to come
come
on
out?
down, come on down.
December 1st, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll figure it out, and y'all can find it on my page. We're gonna make it happen.
we're gonna unite like the Avengers. We're gonna
Right.
make
Make
this shit
it
like,
happen. Make it happen.
Assemble.
Can I be T'Challa like when he came through?
Yes.
That was my favorite part.
Stop.
No, I'm not. I'm lying. No,
Wait a minute.
No. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, no. I feel what you're saying, but when Spider-Man popped up, I ain't gonna lie. When he was like Mr. Stark, I was like, oh, he's alive again.
They did pull off some heartstrings.
Dramas are reminding me of. It's reminding me of that scene specifically.
Oh my god.
So moving on to our theme of the day, we are talking about mental health today. And to kick off, I wanted to ask you guys, what does this topic mean to you? Why is this so important to you? And I wanted to start with Twerk because she actually came up with the idea for this theme, and she approached us and said, yo, we need to have an episode about mental health. So I want to ask you first.
So mental health is especially important to me because I have bipolar, anxiety, PTSD. So like, you know how different mental health diagnoses kind of like go hand in hand, and it's just, something that like a lot of people who don't experience those things, they're not really familiar with how it affects your life like on the day to day, but something that those of us who do struggle, like we have those struggles every day. And even those times when you feel like you're doing better, it can just like catch you like at the most unexpected moment,
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. And you know what? That just sparked a memory for me because one of the first conversations we had online, you were responding to a post I made about depression, I believe. And you were just like, you are so strong for sharing this, and you shared some of your story with me, and I feel like we just really bonded after that, and we just been like real cool ever since then. But I really appreciated that day because I know I was going through it, and your words really meant a lot to me. So
I'm glad. You know how we be oversharing, so I'm like,
we do.
But it's good when you feel like you can just, really like click with somebody and they're not judgmental and everything. They actually get it,
Oh, for sure.
That's a fact.
What about you, Yungokuu?
So mental health is very important to me because that's actually like the field that I work in right now. I graduated school with a degree in psychology and like right away wanted to work with like all types of people and like all the sections of mental health. So I work with autistic children. I've worked with people who are in crisis. Right now I'm working with people who have eating disorders. So I just like learning and like growing and like just learning more about the different types of like, you know, disorders that people can have and trying to help them, because that's my main goal, is to help. I learned like I'm a healer. That's just and also as a person that like I have ADHD and anxiety, so I just know how important it is to take care of your mental health and yourself so you can like be the best version of you. So yeah.
Let me tell you something. Every time we see you, you have such a positive vibe about you. And now I know you do this. Like that's part of it.
That's my goal. That's
Right.
That's my personality now. So
yes, I feel that. Well, I really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, why don't you kind of share a little bit of why this is important to you also? Because sometimes I forget that we also can answer these questions. We're not here to interview everybody, but yeah.
No, mental health is important to me because mine is just so perfect. I'm just kidding. No, me and depression are like, you know, like if we locked in, ain't no switching up. Like me and depression and anxiety, like we go together real bad. But
you gotta laugh at yourself.
Hey, no, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Yes.
That's how I do it.
The thing about it is, like, I have my good days, I have my bad days, and like the thing is, when I am having a bad day, I know it when I first wake up. Like, I'll wake up first thing in the morning, and I'll tell her I'm having a bad brain day. Like, colors aren't colors. Like that feeling in my chest of like that sinking like emptiness of like I know I'm gonna be on autopilot because I can't even be me today. It wipes you out. And like you said, if someone has never experienced it, it's kind of hard to explain to somebody that you can lose track of days, months, like holidays. Like you look up, you like October, like it was just summer kind of like stuff. So I think it's very important because I feel like I'm a very positive person. I'm here for people. I love people. I laugh. And I think people don't understand that, you know, there's multiple sides to people and that somebody who you might deem as strong very well might be strong, but at the same time, like still waters run deep. Like there are a lot of sides to people. And I feel like when I tell people I'm depressed, they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, because you see me at a con and I'm turning up, that's such a sample size like of life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important that people who look the happiest also share their message because Robin Williams, you know what I mean? He's I mean, all of us laughed, made our childhoods, whatever, was going through it inside. And I feel like if he would have had somebody to talk to or like somebody told him it's okay, you don't have to just entertain. We care about all those other parts of you. You never know. So, you know, you got to be the change you want to see in the world. So, you know, I'll tell people my story. You know, the truth don't care who tell it. So why not I be the one to tell it?
That's right.
Oh, well said.
Well, as everyone in the world knows, because I say it so often, I am autistic.
Why is this the first I'm here? You know what? Cut the
I am autistic, but also I do suffer from depression, and now it seems like seasonal depression very much.
I relate to that so much.
I forgot that, man.
Yeah,
the second you said that, man, like real shit.
Right.
Hey, Crazy Nights is my favorite movie.
Yeah, you might need one of those happy lamps or something.
Yeah.
Do those work? Has anyone ever tried one of those happy lamps?
So I haven't tried them, but I work in Seattle, and a lot of people that live there use them because of the rain. Rain actually makes me feel depressed. So like as far as seasonal depression goes, like I'm more of like a summertime person, but like when it's cold outside, I'm like, okay, I have to be in the house drinking hot chocolate, watching a movie, like don't go outside. And when it's raining, I'm like, now it's time to cry for no reason. Be sad. Like that's what rain does to me.
I feel that.
What is a happy? What did you call it? A happy lamp?
Like a happy lamp? Like it's just
a lamp.
Bright light, but it's a specific kind that you can you look at it? Is that what it is? So I did work with somebody who had one on her cubicle desk because she suffered from depression as well, and she said it was like the best thing in the world. It was just like a bright thing so that it's
like brightens up your day. Yeah,
it's not so dark in your area. I also saw it on Broad City. I was watching Broad City, and Alana was having horrible seasonal depression, and she was like smelling the bright lamp. She's like sucking in it's like
It's energy.
I think the concept is supposed to like,
but I feel that shit because if you have a job where, let's say during the winter, it's dark when you go in there, you don't have any windows in your office, and then because it's dark early, it's dark when you leave,
and then you don't get no fresh air.
Yeah,
Yep.
and there's from one building to the other. Hell yeah, like duh, like
yeah,
it's kind of set up for you to be depressed,
right? Exactly.
You ain't seen the sun in 6 days, like
Vampire.
Along with the seasons, does you all's mental health get affected by the holiday season as well?
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like sorry. But I feel like when it's definitely, I would like to say I suffer from seasonal depression because for some reason when it get cold outside, I just get sad. Like it's just like, and I guess it kind of corresponds because like if you look at it, like winter is like considered like death, like when it's like everything is like done for, so it can renew for spring and stuff like that. But certain holidays make me sad too. Because like when I was younger, my mom passed away when I was very young, so certain holidays like either her birthday or like the anniversary of her death or just Christmas and stuff like that make me miss her and other family members as well. So those holiday seasons make me sad, but I always just try to see the good part of things. Like I don't try to be too sad too much. Like a little cry, and it's like okay, let's think about something positive and like make the best of this day and like So.
No, I can totally relate to that. My mom passed away about a year ago, and the holidays were already hard for me. I moved away from home when I was like 19. I'm in my 30s now, so it's like and then it was estranged for a while. Like we were cool on and off. Like we were always like we loved each other, but it's just that disconnect was real. And so then she passed away on Friday the 13th of all kind of days. We was at work. That was like one of the worst things. So there's that. Anytime Friday the 13th come up, that messed me up. When her birthday came up, I was no good. The holidays just kind of like, they do mess me up inside a little bit. But like you said, it's like, I got to live for the people who are here as opposed to who's not. And if my mom was here, she would want me to do the same. So it's like, you have your moment. Shit, I cry. Like anybody who says they don't cry, you should. Like you got.
It's healthy.
It's cathartic.
Right.
Really, that shit's healing. Like, but I just do that, and I try to be grateful. Especially nowadays, I try to be more mindful and just like appreciative of what I have and who's around. And like, even if you have like younger kids or something like that, you got to realize all the memories you hold dear from when you were younger. You got to make those for them. Like they don't just come prepackaged. So it's like sometimes if you can't get out of it for you, you got to try and get out of it for them. And then you no matter how you get out of a hole. If someone gives you a rope, a ladder, like once you out, like you're gonna feel better. Yep. So I feel like with the seasonal depression and with everything else, like I try and pour it into other people, and it makes me feel better.
That's good. Yeah.
For me, like I'm not super close with my family, so like the holidays make me feel lonely, maybe like kind of resentful, like that my holiday isn't like what the rest of the world's holiday is, so like definitely brings like those feelings of sadness. And Goku, your coping mechanism was healthy because you said you cry and then you think about something positive. Last Christmas, I was like, I'm about to drink. Let me just go get some wine. That is not the healthy way.
Well, hold on.
I'm not a big drinker, so I feel like that's why I personally don't. But I do like drink wine when I'm sad, though. Like I drink wine a lot because I think one of the reasons I kind of stopped doing that was because it was brought up to me because I was really depressed and when I was in college, and somebody brought up, well, all you do is like sit around and drink wine. And I was like, what? For real? And I was just like, okay, so let me like try to figure out.
You didn't even say that's a damn lie. You just said for real.
Like, yeah, I was like, for real. So I was like, let me just try to do something to replace it. There's nothing wrong with it, I feel like, because everybody has their own coping mechanisms. But me personally, I told myself this year, I was going to, every time I had a complaint, give 3 things to be grateful about to try to get me out of that funk or like out of that like sad mindset. So that's why I practice that. So I encourage people to practice that as well and see how it makes you feel.
That's
like I was in the car, I was so mad. I was like, this dumbass nigga can't fucking drive. Da, 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 da. And I was like, well, you know what? I can drive. My car is fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a car note. Like, let me just be
There you go,
happy and drive off.
Hey, everybody can't say that, right?
Yeah, hey, I respect it. That's a flex.
Uh-huh.
No, but no, coping mechanisms really are. And like lately I've been meditating and just kind of like trying to be mindful and just stillness. Like you don't even have to think about anything. Like it's just very freeing to just like not do anything. Like I don't have a phone, I don't have music on. Like I'll open the windows up and just look at nature, go take a walk and just like be present, because I know I'm always thinking about what thing I've already messed up and I'm scared of the future and like what I will mess up. But whenever I'm present in the moment and I'm mindful, like I'm at peace. And I feel like the more that, people think about those kind of things, it can help them out, because meditation isn't just, oh, now you need a yoga mat and you got to do whatever. You can just sit on your bed and just relax, whatever position is comfortable to you, and just breathe. Like, I don't know, when's the last time you ever just took breaths and didn't worry?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that?
Exactly. I'm like, I gotta tell people, just think about it. When's the last time you just sat, closed your eyes, or kept them open and just breathe and just, I don't know, think about somebody that you love, think about a memory you love, think about food you love, and just like breathe. Like it's okay.
And so like we do that with the clients, and I just have a hard time focusing. I don't know if it's because of my ADHD or because like I just be racing about with thoughts, but every time I meditate, like I be breathing and stuff like that, but I just don't. My mind just don't be there at the same time. Like,
But also, you gotta understand.
Nothing.
You said it perfectly though. You said when you're with the clients, you're working. Your brain is conditioned to be on when you're working. Like when you're clocked in, you're locked in. Like if you legitimately were to do it like without anybody else's like benefit, because now you got to pay attention to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then you want it for yourself. That's too many things.
I get that though, because I was gonna ask you, JJ, like, do you feel like your brain actually gets quiet? Because
not at first.
Like
not at first. I'm not gonna lie to you. I always tell her it feels like I have 45 tabs open all at once, and they're all playing a different YouTube video, a TikTok,
annoying
Migos lyric, like, and then some like just like something I saw on Instagram, just like all that shit's going on.
Yeah,
like I gotta practice, and it's just like the more that you practice anything, like you can't lift 100 pounds right away, but if you lift 10 pounds and you lift 20 pounds and then 30 pounds, like it's just like practice, like not having thoughts for 10 seconds, and then just extend it from there, because you can literally be like, I'm gonna hold my breath and count to 10, and just even if all you're doing is counting to 10, that's all you've done, and you didn't think about anything else. You were just 1, 2, 3. That's literally one focus on one single thought, and you train your brain to do that for 10 seconds. Literally, then just mentally don't say it like don't say it out loud. Just think about 10 seconds, and then eventually, nothing. It's hard. It's hard,
but that's a good like starting.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I never thought about it like that.
I had to teach myself how to do something, because at one point I felt like Professor X in Cerebro. All the fucking thoughts are coming through at once. I got a bloody nose. I'm like, Jesus, stop.
I hear
everything ever.
I do.
And then I had the nerve to put on music. I like, this will help.
No, for sure. Oh
no, sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out coping mechanisms, because like you said, meditation is hard for me. I'm gonna have to start trying that. But I know that for me, like prayer used to work a lot when I was like younger, but I kind of fell out of it as I got older, because you get woke to things and then you're like, what? But I'm getting back into prayer and into just like, I don't know, I felt more out of myself when I'm focusing on the universe or something. a higher power. You know what I mean? And that kind of calms me. Another coping thing I like those coping slugs. Have y'all seen those?
Yes, my clients are using them. And that was their first time hearing it because it was cracking. I was like, what the hell is that noise?
Right here.
Yeah.
Here it is. So it just makes a sound like, and it's a I don't know. My mom got these for
it's
my
so
kids.
girthy.
I know. Girl, I was like, what is it?
She said,
my mom got these at 7-Eleven, and I was like, what is this? But it does.
People be 3D printing those.
Yeah.
Oh.
They give those to my clients. They give them a lot of like stuff like that, and like the little pop things, and like other little like squids and caterpillars and all this other stuff that helps. That I'm gonna probably try to use.
Did me some shit when I was a kid. The only thing they'd be like, "Well, shut up." You'd be like, "God damn."
Yeah. Well, sit in a corner. Go make yourself busy.
Yeah, they'd be like, if you can't sit still, you can't go to recess. You're like, I'm not sitting still because I can't go to recess. Right. Like, you don't understand.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah. The more time you make me sit here, to realize I'm like, there's 10 minutes left. There's only 6 minutes left to read. Like,
But that's also why it's good that mental health is being brought up more and like being more awareness, because you know, kids in situations like that, like I feel like growing up, a lot of kids, especially me, it was like I'm bad or I'm crazy or I just don't know how to act, and it was like maybe it's like an actual chemical imbalance that's going on, and I actually like really cannot help myself. And so like I find that really important. Well, not really, but it is important, but I find that really good now because even like my niece, she goes to school, and like her best friend like had anxiety and like got to leave early, and like my uncle's like a 4-year-old can't have anxiety, and like I'm like, yes, they can. Like they could be very like they're by themselves. It's kindergarten or whatever preschool. They're scared. Like of course they would have anxiety. Like yeah, they have to thug it out in a sense, but we can be sensitive and, you know, cater to their needs as well as like, you know, make sure that they're doing good in school. So
for a fact.
I love that.
My sister had just brought up the other day, she was like, oh, remember how I had so many stomach aches growing up? And she was like, now I know that was just anxiety. None of the doctors knew what was going on.
They said kids can't have anxiety. I remember when I fell asleep on the bus and the bus people didn't know that I was on there, and I woke up at the bus depot, like on the bus. And there
my God.
And I was like,
yeah, I'd be so scared.
Bad day.
And then I'm literally like, I went like to the first adult I saw, like half in tears, like just yelling my address and the number that I'm supposed to yell if I ever get lost. I'm like, 215. He's like, hey, you need some help? I'm like,
yeah, please take me home.
He's like, oh man. He said, this kid is cracked, bro. He's fucked. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That was some traumatic shit. I remember just like, because I was looking out the window. I said, my bus is coming soon. I mean, like, my stop is coming soon. I wake up, literally, I'm on the bus. It's empty. It's like 60 other buses. I was like, oh, shit.
That shit's scary.
Oh my God. I remember one time I had so much anxiety that I watched the bus driver go past my bus stop and I didn't say anything. And he just kept going, dropping people off. And then I was left on there. He said, now where were you supposed to go? I was like, I'm back there.
Oh,
like, you have to say something.
That's happened to me
like,
too.
I'm not going to say anything.
I'm too shy.
I thought you knew.
Right? Why didn't you tell me to get off? You should have told me.
You didn't tell me. So, how has mental health affected like your relationships, friendships, things like that? Has it affected anything?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, hey, here we go. I'm gonna ask y'all this. I feel like we're all pretty social people in some way, form, or fashion. Have y'all ever been invited to something and been so hyped for it till like the day of or like the week of, and then you're like, I don't even have clothes, or everybody who's gonna be there seen me and everything I've ever had, but then also like, can I even afford this. Oh my God, like, is there going to be part? And the next thing you know, like, any excuse will do for why you didn't go. And then while you're not there, it's the best looking thing in the world. And now you got like that fear of missing out. Right. And then you're like, but I did it to myself. And then like, it's just, you can't win. Like, so mental health is important because we don't have to do that to ourselves.
That scenario literally has happened to me every single month since July. July was the last month I went to a con. We're in October now. Every month I had something on my calendar, and then when the day came, it rained, and I was like, nah, I'm not about to drive. Or I try on the costume, and I'm like, this looks like shit. The material's cheap, not going. Like, it'll just be something, and I'm like, I'm about to stay my ass in the house. And then I'm missing out on stuff I, like, 100% intended to be at.
Yeah, and it'd be the one con I don't go to. It's like all my friends got together for one group picture and found each other.
Yes, and it's like, dang,
we're a collective now. We all got tattoos. See? And I'm like, son of a.
Without me, that's kind of how I felt when I missed DreamCon last year. Because but something in my spirit told me not to go. It wasn't.
No, I respect it though. And that's smart.
It wasn't, but like, I don't know. I just didn't go. But then seeing people there and having fun, I was like, I should have went. But it was fun this year. But
But kind of like there's almost like two sides of the coin now. Because like every time I'm at a con and I post something, I think about it. I said, "Damn, I'm probably doing that to somebody right now by mistake." I'd be like, "Shit." Oh,
can't think about it.
Yeah.
It's funny that you asked that question about like being in relationships and the mental health, because like that has affected me in the past, or a lot, honestly, because I have ADHD. So like I try not to make excuses for it, but I do try to understand that there's reasons why I do things. So like my mouth, like I say what's on my mind, when it's on my mind, how it's on my mind.
Yeah.
And like I don't be meaning it. Not that I don't be meaning it, but like sometimes it just may not be the right time to say that stuff. And I cannot always decipher when it's the right time to say things. So that has caused a lot of issues between me and people, or like me and partners and stuff like that. Like I had an ex, which is so weird because I know him since childhood, yell at me for not telling him I had ADHD, which is so weird because I've been diagnosed since I was 7 years old and would tell everybody. But like, he was like, so you got ADHD? He ain't telling me. And he was like, well, that's why you act like that. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean?
God.
What do you mean that's why I act like that? Like, I'm thinking, like, not that I act regular. Like, I know I'm weird, but like, I'm just thinking everything's fine. But I have noticed, like, especially like at times, like, it's time to get intimate and stuff like that. And I say like the most randomest shit, or like I'll say like something that completely kills the whole mood. It's just not even like just bring up a random fact. Or like one time I just like I brought up I was like, oh, I can't wait to go pick up John later. We're gonna have so much fun. And like, John, I don't even want to fucking love him. I'm like, I'm just like, I don't know. So I would say stuff like that has definitely like affected me. So that's why I'm just like cool in it right now. I just want to be with somebody that's like ready to accept me for me. Like also I'm willing to like grow and learn and like, you know, be a better me, of course, always, but just know like the foundation of who I am, like accept it enough so I don't feel like I have to hide anything, or that I'm a nuisance or bothersome.
Oh, facts.
Yeah, no, because I mean, whatever you bring to the table is 100% you, and you shouldn't have to bring anything less than that. Because whoever wants to sit at the table,
all that too.
Right along with you.
Right.
You feel me? Hey, shit, I respect that. But like, even in other relationships, it's wild to have depression, and you can kind of tell if somebody even cares or not. Because like, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you've been in bed for 3 days and they just going on about their life, like, it's kind of a sign. Like,
is this normal? Maybe they think it's normal.
Like, that's wild. Like, it was like, damn, like I had the same clothes on for 3 days. I ain't ate, and you just like,
you just let it
happen. You just went back to work, and you came back with half a thing of Cheesecake Factory, ate it on the bed, and went to sleep. I'm like, God, damn. I said, are you unbothered as fuck that I'm dying inside?
Or people just like allowing that to let yourself do that to yourself. Like, I get some people don't see it sometimes, but if you like actively see it and you just let it happen, it's like, yeah, do you even care? Like,
Yeah.
is this okay? Like, I know it was very hard for me to speak about my depression last year in my relationship because, like, I feel like I'm like even like you guys said, like, I seem like I'm like I'm always positive and stuff, and like that would come off as like being the strong one or the one that's always like has it together, but like I feel like they also say like the people that seem like they got it together really don't got it together all
Yeah.
the time. So it's like I never like fake like I do or anything like that, but like I do feel like keeping it together and trying to keep it together for myself and for other people does wear you down. So like
Oh,
at
yeah.
the end of the day, after I've done it, like I go home and I'm like worn out. I have no more energy to give because I done gave it out. And if nobody's pouring it back into me, it's hard for me to recharge. So I'm just giving more and more and gaining nothing back. So yeah, it was hard talking about it, but I was able to express it with a few friends and even my grandma, which I'm very grateful for because she's kind of in the early stages of her Alzheimer's. So I'm not even really sure if she remembers the conversations that we had last year of me and my depression. But I'm very grateful that she was able to help me get through it last year when she did because it was a lot, and I was very scared to even tell her
Yeah.
honestly. But she was just very open and receptive and actually like gave some similarities to like that she went through it as well, and I was like, whoa, that's like not cool, but I was like, okay, let me find
No,
out.
no,
Right.
Like my grandma like me too. Like
All
so
right.
it was just
Grandma
like
relating. Right.
yeah.
you know, because you can really
So
go out into the world when you feel like the people that you love, revere, respect, love, and like feel that same way about you back. It gives you something that you can't get almost anywhere else in the world because it's unrequited. Like it comes from a purely positive and like actual place.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
that cosign really helps.
Yeah.
I think for me, like all my friends that were here pre-diagnosis, because I didn't get diagnosed with bipolar until like 2020, like yeah, like it was kind of like related to like the pandemic. So my friends that were here like before then and like are still stuck around and everything, in the beginning, they would always be like, "Are you okay? Are you manic? Like, are you this? Are you that?" And it would always get on my nerves when somebody would be like, "Are you manic right now?" And I wasn't manic. I'm like, stop always assuming that everything I do is manic. Sometimes I'm just fucking regular. I'm not manic. I'm taking my meds, like I'm good. So like that got on my nerves and I had to like kind of like flip out on everybody a little bit so they would like not obsess with like my mental state and just let me be.
Yeah.
As far as dating, for a long time, nobody was around long enough for that to even matter. Like I might mention like, oh, I see a therapist or like I'm on a mood stabilizer or whatever. But I feel like a lot of people don't really know a lot about mental health. So if it's not something you're dealing with, like you just don't get it. And like I can tell a dude I'm bipolar and they'll just be like, okay. Like they don't care. I literally was telling one of my friends yesterday, I was like, you can tell a dude anything. They're not gonna care. Like
Yeah.
you know? Like I'm just like
He made his mind up. You're right. It don't matter.
right.
Yeah.
So like right now I'm dating somebody and it's new and I was like, damn, I have to like disclose that I have bipolar, but like it's not this thing. It's not like a big deal because, I see my therapist, I see my psychiatrist, I'm on my medication. And basically like the way I explained it to him was the rain makes me sad. Like if it's raining, I'm probably going to be sad. And sometimes, I might not sleep or whatever if I'm manic, like that kind of thing. But for the most part, like I'm always going to be on my A game about my bipolar because I don't want to get to such a low point that I end up in the hospital again. So I'm like, the goal is to just always like stay on top of what I have to stay on top of. So like that this person never has to see me like in that low place,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think for me personally, because I was undiagnosed for so long, I think I was masking without knowing I was masking. And just for a very long time, I'm just to the point where I think a lot of people must go through this because I definitely saw a post about this the other day, but like getting a later diagnosis of autism and then being like, what part is me and what part is the mask? I don't know. Like, I don't even know which one is which. Have I been masking this entire time? I didn't know that. I thought everybody did this. And so it's been this weird process of finding out like what parts are me like naturally and what parts are me people pleasing and masking and things like that. And because of that, I also have such strong like social anxiety and things like that. And it affects all of my relationships because I realize how much I mask around literally everyone. Just because like there were so few people I trusted fully in my lifetime. Like even though I love my family so much, like and they don't do anything like me really being like, I don't trust you. You know what I mean? But like I grew up one of like 13 girl cousins. And I was the third oldest. So I wasn't that far down the food chain, but I still got my fair share of a little bit of pushback from some of them. And, when you're different from other people and it shows, or like you're proud of it. In my case, I was very proud of it, being very weird and like outgoing, whatever. But it feels obvious though, it feels obvious around neuronormative people or people who are at least trying to be what's normal in society. And so I always just felt different and like maybe these people won't respond to the things I love the way I want them to. So then you end up masking anyway, even though these are people who love you and appreciate you and whatnot. You're still masking because you just don't like, I just don't like the little faces or the confusion every time I'm talking, or y'all really don't get what I'm saying. Like and so it affects every relationship. But also I know that even like when we first started dating, like the first time I met him in person, because we met on Instagram, and so we were talking online for a very long time before we actually met in person. And he drove to North Carolina to meet me from Atlanta, and I was acting very weird the entire time because I was so nervous. I was so nervous because one, I never date. Two, I was going through a divorce. So I was nervous that people act very weird towards women when they're going through a divorce, especially if they're moms and all this other stuff. I had been separated from my husband for over a year and was just waiting for certain things to fall into place so that the divorce could go through and all that. And because in North Carolina, it has to be over a year. Lovely. But I was nervous about that because he was acting crazy about the divorce. And I didn't want him to know I was seeing a guy and then he has a whole conniption and like creates drama where there doesn't need to be any and where I don't deserve any to be. But then also I'm meeting a guy I met on the internet. And I almost felt stupid saying that out loud. So I also didn't tell anyone. I
think he wasn't crazy.
I didn't tell anyone specific.
She got so lucky.
But what I did do, well, let me be clear. I did though send my location to my sisters.
Okay, good.
And I said, hey, I can't meet up with you guys today, but here's my location, and I don't feel like telling you why. Because again, with the judgment and the mask, and I've never been this person before, so I was like, I'm not telling anyone. But then I'm expecting to see him and be so excited and like jump into your arms and like give you a big kiss or something and all this stuff. I was like, hi, hello. Don't look at me.
No, it was at one point because we were at a Starbucks at one point, and I went into the bathroom and I was like, I don't think she likes me, which was okay. No. I was like, which is okay. I also just didn't want to make her feel weird because I also knew that women have like experiences with dudes going crazy just because whatever. I was like, no, it's cool. And I was just like, you don't have I know I drove here and whatnot, but like it's not that. And then you were like, no.
Look, he did this whole spiel like, oh, if you don't like me, well, that's cool.
I was like, it's okay.
Like no hard and I was like, oh no. I was like, you're failing, girl. You're failing. I said, no. Hold on. Let me go to the bathroom real fast. I had to like go in the bathroom, get myself right. I said, girl.
Y'all both had to get right in the bathroom.
Together, girl. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, can you imagine? This almost wasn't because like
I know. He was like, I don't know if this.
I was like, oh man. I said, damn. I said, she really don't like me. I said, but also I was like, damn, I don't want to make this weird for her because I don't have social anxiety. So I instantly just came out. I was like, okay.
I was being so weird because I was like, oh, this is so strange to see this person in real life when all I've seen is a picture. And also, you don't look like your pictures in real life.
I'm much taller.
You're taller, but then also at that time, you were a little bit, I don't know, like you were in the gym so much that your body was different from time to time or whatever, and your face would change. And like the angles you used to take your photos in is completely different than now. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know why. I was like, I have to get used to the face being the real face. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a 2D face on a picture, even though I guess that's not 2D. But like something about my brain doesn't connect the two together. I don't know why. So now I'm like, now I gotta get used to this being a real person I have to touch.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
It was so wild. And like the way she was looking at me, that's why I was like, she was like looking at me like.
I said, it's a real person. It's not.
I was like, okay.
Is he real? This is not an avatar.
I said, let me get my life together because I am failing this. I've never. That was probably my third date in my life. I was like, what to do, bucko? This sucks.
I came in on 10.
I know, he was ready. He was like,
what's hey, good? I was like, it's me.
Like, Aries energy coming in there.
Energy. Yeah, like, you have so much energy, and I was trying to like find out where I fit in there. I don't know. I got so scared because you were like, hey, here's the hug, and here's the kiss, and here's the thing. And now that we know that I'm autistic, I see how that I see how so much touching made me turn into a shell instead of
at one point she didn't look at me for a smooth 10 minutes. Like she was in her phone playing Pokemon Go, Instagram.
Oh,
like I was like, but she was talking to me. She just would not look up at me for shit.
And eye contact is so hard.
Eye contact is really hard for me too. I don't really like to look at people in the face. Like it's weird, and I feel like I'm disrespectful because I'm not looking them in the face. Right. But like in other countries, it's so weird. You're not supposed to look people in the eye, and they're not supposed to look people in the face. So the fact that we do it here is like weird, and I don't like doing it. I like to look around. Like, stop looking at me.
I thought that's so hard for me, and I felt like I was looking past you, and I felt like that was wrong. So then I started pulling my phone out so I'd fidget with something, and then
I still talk to you because it's like I need to look at something. Yeah,
I was just trying to find out how to make it work, and none of that was working.
But what's crazy is because I came to visit her, she was taking me to the places. So imagine being taken around by somebody who doesn't want to talk to you and you don't know nothing that's going on. Or nothing. I'm just like looking around. I can't even make conversation. I'm not. I'm just like.
It was bad. It was rough.
But I also liked how you brought up masking because I never even thought about that. Like masking like what I am or what I have because I kind of noticed I do that a lot because like I'm very goofy and I feel like people see that but not a lot of people see it because I try to hide it often which I don't know why because goofy is fun but like anyway so like I've been feeling like I was masking like it also got to a point like even with my family I like growing up I don't know the Bible verse exactly but like you speak when spoken to, stay in a child's place, like stuff. Like my family always said that. So like growing up, I just felt like it was never my place or never my turn to speak. So I didn't. And so as I'm becoming an adult, I'm like still not speaking. And they're like, well, why don't you say this? And why don't you say that? And I'm just like, I'm trying to process that I can speak now. Like it's just kind of weird. Like I'm trying to process that. Like, okay, what happened as a child or like as a young, like very. I like to consider him still a young adult, but like as like a teenager and stuff like that. What happened then is like different now. I'm able to speak up. I'm able to have an opinion. I'm able to have a say. But at the same time, no, because authority or people older than you always want to tell you what you can and can't do. So like you feel like you're like, well, I want to say this, and then you're like, well, no, you can't say whatever. But like, so I feel that with the masking because I just feel like growing up, I kept a lot of things to myself and just like hid a lot of things from people because like of what they would say. But now, like, I'm like, so do I bring this side back out, or do I keep it in, or do I like show it to only certain people? Like, so I definitely like understood when you said that.
I feel like so much of that is like Black people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much.
Yes, because Black people always gonna make fun of you, say you weird, say you dumb, say you something, and white people like, oh my God, honey, let's just put you in a room with other people who are just like you, so you can work through it. Because literally at the eating disorder place, that's how it is. I feel like I work with all bougie white people, but even growing up, I would like to say I am blessed to have had grandparents that knew I had an issue and like put me in counseling. Well, I'm not going to say issue, but like when at a very young age, when I found out I had ADHD, they took me to counseling, and then especially like when my mom passed away, I was in like group therapy with other like kids whose parents had also passed away and stuff like that. So I'm very grateful for that. I would say like therapy or just knowing about mental health or having somebody to talk to about it is really important because I do a lot of self reflection, whether it's with whether it's like with me talking to other people and then thinking about it, or just thinking about it on my own, which I think is really important. So just hearing from other people and then thinking about it yourself to try to figure out how to work this crazy fucking world is like.
It's so good that you had that kind of support system though, because in the Black community, that's not normal. Like my family was like, stop telling people you're bipolar. Stop accepting it. You need to pray it away, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck is praying going to do if I have a diagnosis? Like, it's not going to just disappear one morning and I'm going to be regular. Like,
right.
And I just felt like,
because what's the metric for regular? Like, right. I hate that.
Right. I'm just like, first of all, how am I going to deal with something that's new in my life if you're telling me to just pretend that it's not here when literally it's something that's going on in my brain? Like, I can't pretend it's not here. It's going to affect me every day. Like, I literally have to be on medication so I'm not like so down bad that I'm like hospitalized, like it's like, no, that's not something I can ignore. And I felt like there was like no support, from family, but I did have some friends who were like really, really good about it. Like my best friend, she worked in mental health. So I would like, when I was in the mental institution, it was for 3 days. That's a whole different story. It was hilarious, like a crazy vacation. But I was like calling her on the phone and we were just like laughing about shit. And like, she was just super supportive because she understood. But like my family, they had no idea because a lot of Black people do not like seek mental health resources. And so like, our parents could benefit from therapy. They're not all there. So it's they don't want to accept this stuff or like hear this stuff because they're like, oh, you just need to pray. You need to go to church. Like you'll be good, da, da, da. And it's like, prayer only gets you but so far. Like it's not gonna just remove like.
Hey, you know what? They be trying to throw the Bible around. I'm like, I thought God helps the child who helps his own, who helps himself. God damn, bro. You gotta, like, hey, God said pray, but then like go to therapy too.
Right, exactly.
Why not hedge your bets?
It's frustrating because it does feel like we get so much pushback from older generations, but it's also frustrating because it's almost through no fault of their own. Like it's for sure because of our own oppression and our own backgrounds and how things happen for Black people in America has led to this point where we're butting heads with our own ancestors just to be okay. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's frustrating, but it does take us actually having those conversations, even though they're hard, to make any kind of change.
Yeah, no, I literally was just about to say that. Like, sometimes people will be like, why are older generations or older Black people the way they are? I'm like, you got to talk to them. And when I say talk, you also got to listen, because at the end of the day, they're going to tell you some shit where they're like, I know they didn't tell you this back then, but you're traumatized. Like, you are, you were a big time victim. Like, no, I'm tough and I'm hard and this, that, and the third. Okay, two things can be true. You are both tough and hard. And you're a victim. But like, yeah, I'm about to say, and no one's saying you have to change what's the exterior, but like the interior, you got to work on, because if you carry that around for the rest of your life, like you don't have to. But nobody's telling them that, just like nobody would tell us that initially. But we're like, I feel like all of our generations are like breaking the chain and trying.
Yeah, that's the goal, to break the
things
chain.
like this, because I mean, we know what it's like, and it's wild to kind of like move up the chain and what you have and what you feel to be really valid amongst the community, because it's your peers. So it's like, I know what I went through, because we all kind of went through it together. Like, we're kind of like the first generations of people who had social media, to the point where it's like, oh no, it can really fuck you up. And we see it happen to these kids who, like, that's all they've ever known.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to need mental health. Like, they're going to need somebody.
Definitely big on the breaking the generational traumas, because it's just like, a lot of stuff happened and continues to happen because nobody was aware of mental health, and like what they were doing was like not good and just not right. Like, kids who, or just people who have unfortunately, like, been like, sexually assaulted and molested and just like that, like groomed and stuff like that. Like, their parents did it, so they just think it's right when it's just not right. So it's just like, definitely big on breaking generational trauma, which kind of just reminds me of this movie. My friend that I'm with right now, she's never seen it, and she's a hater. But if you have ever seen the movie Encanto, because I watched it with my grandma.
Yes.
Wait, what movie?
Encanto. And okay. Like, even though it's with Colombian people, I feel like that was a really good family movie with a really good family story, because I knew you was going to talk shit when I brought it up, which you was going to anyway.
I said, hey, we gonna talk about Bruno today.
Yeah. Let me tell you something.
That is like, but that's like a good movie about, like, like breaking the generational chain, and just like, everybody had a different role in the family. And even like watching my grandma like was able to relate to it. She was like, oh, like, I'm the oldest and I went through that too. Like, that's messed up. I'm like, it's messed up. Because I'm an only child, so I don't know what, like, I'm spoiled, and I'll be able to admit that. Like, I have that. So I don't know what a lot of people have gone through, but to see it and to hear it, I can appreciate it, and just it adds another perspective of life, because I'm all about perspectives and like seeing other people from different perspectives. So yeah.
I was about to bring Encanto up because earlier you said we have to listen to each other. And I know when Encanto came out, a lot of us were real upset with Abuela. We were real upset with her. You know what I mean? We were not
because she was not understanding, but it's like, how could she understand when she wasn't brought up to understand, you know? And it's like learning how to understand and still teach.
The other part of that, though, was also we have to listen to the older generations as well, because even though it felt like we related so hard to Marigold and all that stuff, Mirabelle. Mirabelle?
Yeah, Mirabelle.
Yeah, Mirabelle. Okay.
Mirabelle?
Yes. Mirabelle.
Hold on, let me sing the song. No. Even though we all felt like we related to Mirabelle and we all just wanted to be accepted for just us and not what we could do for people and things like that, we also got to remember these older generation people have been through some shit we can't even understand or fathom. The amount of hurt they went through, the amount they went through just to get us where we're at right now. And we're definitely complaining about just being seen, whereas that was not even a possibility for them. You know what I mean? So to ask them to do something for us that was never a possibility for them, we have to also give that to them. We have to be able to see them for us to see us. No one's ever seen them either.
Mm-hmm.
And for much longer than we've been living, let me tell you.
And our generation has almost an unfair advantage compared to them, because the way that you like talk about your autism like so openly on social media, they might have been living in a time period where like if they did have something they were aware of, they might have felt like they were alone. And for us, it's like I follow hella bipolar pages on Instagram, and I'm like, all these people relate to me. We just be in the comments, like chopping it up and stuff. And you know, I don't feel like I'm alone out here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of like how you said
that, like,
they were telling
really
you don't say anything. That's it's a weird balance, because also everybody's family and situations are different.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sometimes you have to just distance yourself from things like that just so that you can live your life.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And then other times I know that it's people who mean the best for you. And they think that's what's right, but unfortunately, they're misguided.
No, you're 100% right, because think about it. Even in the Black community, you can have any condition under the sun, and if there's a mental health thing, oh, that boy touched, or that person's slow.
Right.
I'm like,
or if you go to therapy, you're crazy.
Oh, you're a crazy person.
Crazy all of a sudden.
Or you go to therapy, they're like, oh, lock them up. I'm like, for what? Like,
that's a healthy thing to do, though. It's so healthy that everybody else who's not doing it thinks it's crazy, because they just don't get it.
What's crazy is people will take medication for high blood pressure, for the sugar, quote unquote. They'll take anything else. But if you take medication for your mental health, like, how is that?
Oh my gosh, that is like so true, because that's
think about it.
My last job, like working with crisis, the patients like would have like diabetes, and they're like, oh, well, I want my gabapentin. But I don't want to.
I'll take my metformin.
I don't want to take my Seroquel. But I don't want to take.
I'll never take sertraline. But oh my goodness, I need metformin. I need Jardiance.
You need to take this, please.
You
need it for your mental health.
Do you think your body knows what chemicals are crazy or not? Like, when you have a headache, do you take a Motrin? Take this goddamn Zoloft. Like,
no, literally take.
Take the freaking Zoloft. The medicine is a gift and a curse, because for like bipolar people, the medicine makes you so different than how you are without the medicine. Like when I'm like at the height of like a manic episode, I'm so creative. Like during the pandemic, I stayed up every night and I wrote an entire book. And it's like now, you know, I'm creative with my cosplay or whatever, but like this medicine is like balancing out my brain. So like that level of just obsession, because like I'm not sleeping and I'm just like so amped up about doing whatever, like that's not there. And then the other part of it is like the medication that I take for bipolar is actually like really bad for you in the long run. Like it messes up your thyroid or something like that. But I have to take it like every day, rest of my life, unless at some point.
And that's why I'm kind of more like, I like holistic treatments. Like, granted, I know that the medicine is there to help us, and I think it does. But like you said, it makes you a completely different person. Like my ADHD medicine makes me a completely different person. Like growing up, like it was so funny because like I would tell my friends, like I would have, like my friends would know, but it's like in school I'm like a zombie. But as soon as school is over, I'm wild, energetic, fun, laughing, like just a whole. And people be like, and like as soon as they'll see me, they're like, "Oh, she on her medicine. Like just wait a few hours. Like when she get off, we already know she on her medicine." Like for a while, I didn't want to take it because I felt like it was changing me. Like it wasn't making me my bubbly self and stuff like that. So I started to look into holistic things. While some work and some don't, or it just depends on like the person and like the amount that you use. I do try to encourage people to just look into some of that stuff as well, because especially like to not counteract, but I guess in a sense counteract, like if the medicine is like messing up your thyroid, take something to, I guess, replenish it, or like, you know, make sure that it comes back and like not completely destroyed, because these medicines they're like, Western medicine is not, you know, like it's good, but it's not.
It's like putting
like the Chinese and like the Chinese and the Asian medicine and stuff like that. Even like I guess in the Caribbean and stuff like that, they have really good medicine. Like that's why their people like live so long. And so like I bought a Dr. Sebi book actually that
Yeah.
has like a book of like a whole bunch of recipes and like different stuff in there to help. Because like once I felt like my grandma had Alzheimer's, I was like, okay, how can we holistically stop this? Because they're giving her this medicine, but the medicine is not helping. It's messing up other things, like you said, like it's messing
Yeah.
up other things, and we don't want that to be messed up. So how can we just, So I've been like doing a lot of research on that and like trying to like give her certain teas and certain like vitamins and certain minerals and stuff like that. So,
and that's good that
but
y'all
yeah,
chose like the holistic approach, because pharmaceutical companies don't care if you have something that you don't need the medicine for anyway. They're like, take it for the rest of your life, period. And
Right.
like,
Yeah, because
even
now
with
you're a
bipolar,
customer.
like,
You're a paying customer for the rest of your life.
right. And it's,
It's
but
more comfortable,
we
yeah.
don't have to be. Like, there are ways around these conditions and stuff. But for me, I have like this worry, like, okay, well, if I get off of the medicine to get to the point of like staying off of it forever, I'm going to have like a manic episode that's going to come with a depressive episode, and like things will get really bad before they get better. And so it's like, even my psychiatrist will try that scare tactic on me, like, well, don't come off of it because, this is working. So why would you not use it? Like I told her, my medicine interacts with my birth control, like my mood stabilizer. So basically, if I, decided that I needed the birth control, it wouldn't do shit for me. So I was like, hey, let me take a different mood stabilizer so my birth control can work. She's like, no, the mood stabilizer is working for you. Do you remember when you were in the hospital? Things were really bad then. I don't think you should change the medicine. Can't you just use condoms?
And I'm like, trauma dump my own trauma on me.
Right.
Can't you just use condoms? And I'm like, yeah, but birth control is like another method that I should have access to.
Yeah.
So like,
that's a wild. Now she's a kid.
Like you're not my GYN. You shouldn't be telling me what to do with my vagina. But
exactly. You don't know my life.
Yeah.
Right.
Be a long-term relationship.
Like basically the only thing that won't interact with the mood stabilizer is like the copper IUD. I'm not an IUD person. I don't really want it. So I'm like, fuck that. But then when I was talking to my psychiatrist about changing the med, she was like, well, do you even want to have a kid? And if you do get pregnant, you have to come off your mood stabilizer because it's not good for pregnant women. So I'm still going to probably have a manic or depressive episode at some point. And I'm just like, bruh, like what?
Hey, girl, that's why I want the birth control.
I gotta be honest. You might need to get her out of here, coach. She's taking hella liberties.
Yeah,
like, you want a baby? Like, that's not what I'm here for. What?
Yeah, that conversation was crazy because she was like, I have a kid and it's hard and blah blah blah, and I'm like,
now we talking about your life story. I was like, if you can't help,
don't be like me.
Don't be like me.
Don't live my life.
She's like, I hate Darnell to this day.
Damn,
I wish somebody would have gave me a condom. She said, you want to?
And it's funny that she would say that too. Like, I'm not gonna think of that. Like, I know condoms exist. I'm a fucking adult in the United States of America. Like, I know what my options are, but I'm telling you.
Yeah. Like, you was going to look at it and be
I don't like that option,
bitch. Right. Like, my thing was, why can't I have the best of both worlds? The birth control that works for me and the mood stabilizer that works for me. Why do I have to change the birth control I've been on for years because of my mood stabilizer? Like, because I was kind of like, you know what, fuck it. Let me just not take the mood stabilizer and let my mood be whatever so that I don't get pregnant. Like,
and so for that as well, they have holistic birth control. Neem oil, neem seed oil, and neem powder. That's like something that go really strong. Antiseptic. Not antiseptic.
Contraceptive.
Look at me, y'all.
Good to know.
It's supposed to be like really good, but like, yeah. I had this conversation with this lady at the grocery store. At the little health food store one day, and she was just giving me tips for so much stuff, and I was like, oh. And I also follow a lot of people too, but that's the part. Like, how am I supposed to be a functioning human being when my medications are not even working in coordination? I mean, there is also something else. I don't know if it's only for ADHD. I'm gonna have to ask my therapist when I talk to her on Saturday. but she sent me like a link, and it's like a survey that you're supposed to take. Not even a survey, like a DNA sample that you're supposed to take, and you send it back, and it comes back to you, and it lets you know what medicines work specifically for you chemically.
Your biochemistry.
And like individually personalized. She sent it to me and I looked it up, but I be having so many tabs, I done goddamn lost it. So I'm gonna have to ask her again this weekend, and then once I get the information, I can definitely share it with you guys. But like, it was like something like, but you could probably like just look at like genetic medication that's like fit for you, something like that. But that's basically like the goal of it. And I thought that was so interesting. And so like, yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I'm still over here just thinking about the holistic birth control. Can you imagine like looking at somebody and be like, go get the neem oil? And you'd be like,
right. Put some of that neem seed oil down.
I'm like, say less.
I would not hesitate saying that at all. And if you're not gonna get it, I'm gonna get him a goddamn
no.
Watch.
You're supposed to turn into Barry Allen.
Not right now.
Right.
Nothing. Exactly. That's funny.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us tonight and talking about this topic. I think we had an awesome conversation. And like you said before, I know all of us have touched on this, but it's such an important topic. And I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it. And I really just wanted to show that everybody goes through things, and to show that people who are going through mental health issues, we're here. We relate to you. We understand. You're not alone. And I just wanted to invite some of my cool friends over to talk about it.
Yeah, I respect it. They're coolest.
Right. So let our fans know where they can find you if they don't already know.
I'm just on Instagram at CosplayXTwerk. That's it.
That's a fact.
I'm everywhere. Yungokuu, YUNGOKUU, 2 U's. It's only an underscore on Instagram. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
thank you
definitely.
Guys so much.
Please follow them back. They're amazing content creators, amazing people, and honest. Like, I mean, seriously, you can't ask for more applicants. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. And good night, everybody.
Dirty Closet Pals.
Thanks, y'all.